This is Poehemian Poetry Podcast, and today I'm with Eva X from Houston, Texas. How are you today, Zach?
Pretty decent. How about yourself?
I'm great. I'm glad to have you here. Can you start off by telling me what first got you into poetry and any background information about your poetic journey?
Yes, of course. Back in 1995, when I wrote my first poem, didn't even know what the word poem meant. I just wrote some lines. It was about being born, I suppose. I just did that in my free time and wrote a few here and there about my cat, or as I like to call him, my son, Thomas. And then as I got older, I learned what poetry was and how beautiful the flow was and the language of poetry itself. It was kind of a progression. That's actually what got me into it.
That's great. Sometimes that first poem gets you hooked. You can't stop after that one.
Exactly.
What would you say makes you a unique poet?
What is unique, you know? I mean,
exactly.
My definition, I have a bit of a persona. When I perform, I go as the poet in black. When I perform, I dress in black clothing and a black fedora, sunglasses. When I'm on stage, I'm reading. I guess I sort of channel Jim Morrison, and he kind of helps me. I'm not really nervous anymore. I put emphasis into what I'm doing. I also feel I put voice into whatever I read. I feel that that's necessary depending on the piece itself and depending on the tone as well. Yeah.
That's really unique and also really inspiring. So.
Indeed.
And how would you say the poetry scene is in Houston, Texas? I'm really curious. Never been there.
Well, when I first got down here, a few years afterwards, I saw there was a couple places in particular. There's Barnes & Noble that holds one at the end of every month, the last Tuesday, and then there's this other coffee house called Coffee Oasis, which holds one on the first Monday of every month. I started at those two places, and then I was introduced to quite a few more spots around there, and as well as some events. There's a lot of poetry slams. I'm not too much into that in particular, but I love watching them do their stuff. They're really passionate about it. Whereas me, I'm a traditionalist. I attend as many as I can, especially downtown Houston. There's a lovely place called Tom's Wine Bar, and an event is held there every third Thursday of the month. Everybody has their own unique style. It's wonderful to be welcomed into that brotherhood, into that fellowship of poets and poetesses alike.
Yeah, it's wonderful to hear that no matter where you are in the United States, poetry is there. It's not dead. So, really happy to hear that. And what would you say are some of your mottos pertaining to poetry, and what kind of advice would you give other poets?
Well, quite a few. I think this goes for any poet in particular. You're your own worst critic. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you can look at a piece you wrote and you can be disgusted by it and say, "I wrote that. Are you serious?" But then some other people could look at it and say, "Good God, this is just marvelous." You know, and it really depends on the perspective. But I mean, definitely you're your own worst critic.
Mm-hmm.
Look at your work and repeat to yourself, "I am better than no one, and no one is better than me." You know, and you're always in the middle. You know, another motto, I suppose. I don't suppose I came up with it, but I repeat it to myself. It's not exactly a mantra, but it gets me through the day. I always exclaim in my head, "Poetry lives." You know, it really does. It lives within all of us. It's a revival. It's rebirth. You know, so poetry lives.
I love that, and I love all of those, and that's something I live by too, especially the one about being your own worst critic. I'm like that with every poem I write. And as a poet, who and what inspires you? I bet a lot of things inspire you.
Oh, you have no idea. I guess the word muse, in my case, is quite promiscuous because many things inspire many people as well. I have a few key poets who first started to inspire me, and then I branched out. I expanded my horizon. Many different poets inspire me. The ones that started out were Matty Stepanek. He was one of Jerry's kids. He was from the MDA Telethon. He was also a Goodwill ambassador. He wrote some of the most beautiful poetry. It was pure, and he started when he was 3. And did it all the way up to age 13. And then, let's see, of course, Mr. Allen Ginsberg, is just a wonderful inspiration in so many ways. He has sort of a Whitman-esque flow in his work, and which I love, and I got off of that. And as I said, as I was talking about before, Jim Morrison, his work is just mind blowing. I take one look at it, and he's in some other realm, some other state of mind. A lot of he's totally underrated as a poet. A lot of people know him as this drunken rock star, but to me, he's one heck of a poet, to tell you the truth. And then, William Blake as well. We were studying him in British literature class, and I was hooked before that, but everything he wrote, he was a man like way ahead of his time, such a visionary, and he definitely inspired me as well. So
I feel like the list can go on and on for me as well. So those are some great
you'll be on the phone with me for a few years if you want to continue that list.
Yeah, we might have a podcast that long. Some people rush through it and it only lasts a few minutes. So, And I see that you work for a magazine. It's called Harbinger Asylum Magazine. Maybe I said it wrong, but can you tell me more about it?
Yeah, you said it correctly. Either Harbinger, either way. I couldn't have done it without my good friend and editor-in-chief, Justin Pickering. He's the one that started it all 2 years ago with his other assistant editor, Ian Moss. It's a wonderful poetry magazine. We get writers we have poets rather from all over the world, actually. There's one in Cairo, there's one in the UK, there's one in Canada, and it can go on. And 2 years ago, it started out as a little poetry magazine, but now it's becoming at least well known around the Houston area, and technically internationally as well. The theme is very surreal. It's not exactly beautifully grotesque, but the poems are in there. They're really meant to make you think deep and hard. And what's great about this is that a lot of poetry magazines nowadays are online, and Justin thought it would be a wonderful idea to bring back the paperback form of the magazine. So that's what we've been doing. We go around and at different readings, and we sell the issue. It's a quarterly magazine, and so there's one issue for each season. The winter issue is coming out soon around Christmas, and the Best of the 2 Years anthology will be released soon as well. And then recently he appointed me as an assistant editor, and I was just like, I was stoked out of my mind. It was a really high honor, and I've been taking it to my full advantage and looking over people's work, editing it, recruiting new people who would like to submit, and I encourage as much as I can. It's great exposure. And many people will be reading it, of course. So that's the history of Harbinger Asylum.
I mean, once I heard the surrealism part, I'm like, that's right up in my alley, so I need to check this out.
Oh, perfect. Hey, maybe you could send us a couple of pieces. I would really love to see some of your work, definitely.
Definitely, yeah. I'll check that out. And here's an interesting question I've never asked anyone on this podcast. If you had to describe yourself in haiku form to someone, what would you say?
All right. Go easy on me. This is what I came up with. Poet, passionate, silent bard, and process man for the love of words.
Bravo. I love that. Really good. And it's funny, it's a haiku, a short form, but you managed to make it very unique to yourself.
Well, thank you.
And now time for some longer poems. Would you care to share a few?
Let's see. As far as subject matter, love has got to be my absolute favorites. And recently I finished my first sonnet, and I call it sonnet number 8. 8 is it's my favorite number. It sticks to me. And this is a sonnet 8. By some source of cosmic providence, along the spreading beauty came. Her eyes of opal granted me such confidence, for this was an instinct I could not tame. From your stunning look I received inspiration, whether it was a flirting wink or striking pose. Such an honor it is to have an in-depth conversation with a flourishing flower more mighty than a rose. There is, however, a burning confession that I have always wanted to tell. 'Tis about your generous smile and remarkable expression. With this ring and vow sounds the perpetual bell. You have jump-started my heart and made it whole. I shall love thee, now and forever, with the very depths of my soul. That's the end of that one.
I like that. It gives you like that old-timey feeling, and I don't hear a lot of poems like that anymore, so thanks for sharing that one.
Of course, quite an honor. This next one, if you're an existentialist, this one will totally fit that subject. It's called I Am What to You. I am what to you? I am nightshade, a shadow of ebony whispers. I am the winter that blesses you with 3 months of Antarctic bliss. I am a dunce for loving someone like you. I am your rebirth, providing a second chance at this game you call life. I am nirvana. My state beats your other 50, hands down. I am the electricity that is placed in every meaningful kiss. I am a creation for poets and poetesses alike. I am your alter ego, viewing the world through your eyes and spirit. I am time, ticking away and running out every waking moment. I am the decoy that the government's plot hole sent to keep you sane and arranged. I am a garden, one of several compliments from Mama Terra. I am your doppelganger, though I am quite befuddled in the haunting process while you are still alive. I am space, infinite, gaseous, and peaceful. I am the erect member that penetrates the moist counterpart softly and forms a spiritual connection with her blushing face. I am a romantic, hopelessly in love with everything heart-shaped. I am your sight, your only grim means of protection and parking spot in Tartarus. I am bliss, for if you caress me, rainbow visions await you ahead. I am the omnipresent one, taking up collective places, seeing all and being everywhere. I am a corridor, lonesome, villainesque, and limited. I am your subway system, passing through with a modern version of Charon, the ferryman. I am poetry, defining the senses of self-induced words. I am the peace, upside-down mirror reflection of violence and profane chaos. I am a page, turning light and exhaling numb attempts. I am your only hope, your only conclusion, and your emancipation to contentment. I am you. And that's the end of that one.
Wow, just wow. I love that piece, and it's extremely mystical, and great job.
Thank you. And quite a dilemma choosing my last piece, but I wrote one of my anti-racist pieces, and I wrote this a little while after Rodney King passed away, and it's called Colorblind, number 2, to Rodney King. Can we all be sane and civil humans like we claim to be? Savage brutality in blue suits shall not go unwanted. The Bowie album, Black Tie, White Noise, was for all of us, riots or not. Riots in the streets of Angel City, madness in the homes of perplexed Homo sapiens, breakouts in the many sleeping Tomcat alleys, social inequalities and increased racism in the duration of 6 days. What a time to be a member of the LAPD. Cease everything. Remember who we really are. Biped civilization. equal without hesitation, smiling over many nations. Peace we desire, pacifism, it is your time to shine. Are we not a humane melting pot, a colorless camaraderie that only divine providence could see? It takes no teacher but experience to bring harmful shame that could have been easily avoided. Judgment be demolished, profiles be damned. In the end of time, is it really that difficult to just get along?
Another great piece. I just want to thank you for your positivity. It's really refreshing to hear poems that embrace that, mystical nature in all of us and the positivity that should be there, but most people neglect to see.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And if I had it my way, I'd have you read a lot more of your poems, but we're already 15 minutes in, surprisingly.
Do we have time for one more? Or?
If you'd like to read another one, I welcome it, so go ahead.
Oh, sure. I'll make this a shorter one. The intro to this one, the subject is, again, love, but not too long ago I started writing poems on flyers. I have little mini flyers. I've finished a book of them recently, and the inspiration behind this was a Houston legend. His name is BGK, and when I first saw him reading poems off napkins and how free his words were, it blew my mind instantly. You use an inspiration in general, and I don't really title these flyer poems, I just give them numbers, so it's number 72, and the subject is love. Love the rain by our slumbering heads, and love the thunder by our bare, cuddling bodies. Love the intimacy that makes the day seem like a breath away. Love the jump-start touch of your hand, and love the fusion aura kiss. Love the carefree times that make life worth living. Love the intensity of ravenous love-making, and love the mutual eye contact post-reciprocal climaxes. Love the sound of your name that makes the human population repeat it incessantly. Love you only. Love. Just a word until the days of you.
You're an inspiration. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And do you have any final words, or would this be a good spot to end it?
I guess again, just repeating the lifelong phrase, poetry lives. You can't escape it. It's there. It will always be there. Humans may come and go, but words will live on forever.
The best mantra ever.
Thank you.